What up, y'all? It is your boy, one and only A Switch, aka let me hit you with this trash can so you can feel the knowledge. Let me give you this elbow so you feel where my penis is coming from. Is it called a penis? Weenus? You know what I was saying, okay? All right. Bringing you yet another episode of Switches Sites, episode 31 to be exact. We getting deep in November, baby. It's November 14th, 2019. I said it, November 14th, not 14th, 14th. And yeah, some interesting stuff happened this week. Of course, you know I'm about to go into that Death Stranding a little bit later. But at least starting out the week, we gonna go raw dogging. We gonna raw dog it. Yeah, we gonna raw dog it. Yeah. Let's not dilly dally, and let's get into that news. So probably I'd say the biggest news that came out this week is the whole event XO19. Which is taking place in London. So I believe it's kind of like Xbox's marquee announcement event, kind of similar to, I forgot what PlayStation's was. What was it called? It was PlayStation Experience, I think, where basically they show like, titles that are more than likely coming out next year or whatever. So there was that. But yeah, I just caught up on the show. I think it premiered like earlier today in the morning, but I was at work, so came home, caught up on the deets without trying to spoil myself. And honestly, I have to say I'm fairly impressed with what they showed. They seem to have a little bit of everything for everybody, which I think is always good, just to have that well-rounded selection of stuff. And I think I'm just going to touch on the highlights, at least that caught my attention personally. I guess probably the initial biggest announcement. Yeah, biggest announcement is Halo Reach finally coming out. It's what, like almost eternal beta, if you will. I think they started testing it like a year ago from around this time, I want to say. And I guess they finally ironed out all the kinks. Or maybe it was summer. No, I think they announced it around last year. Around last year, and then was tested in phases and stuff like that now. But apparently it's going to be releasing December 3rd, which is pretty good. At least from what I played in the flight, looks pretty damn polished, pretty damn ready to go. Playing the Xbox version. I think the PC version is still up now. I still have to kind of finish that. Maybe try to get some more hours in, but I'm not even sure I'm gonna find the time. But yeah. What else about that? It's available for pre-order for people on Steam and Xbox Store, even though it's on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, obviously you want to get that. And that's probably, I'd say, the biggest takeaway from this is like Game Pass is like legitimizing its like stance in terms of just being a powerhouse of a service and bargain for people who, maybe are on the fence about gaming, not as maybe hardcore as like us aficionados and enthusiasts. But man, Xbox is going for the jugular. They brought the force, to be honest. Because man, there was a lot of surprises, and I guess we can talk about them now. Probably the biggest one, for me at least, definitely, being the immense fan I am, Yakuza 0, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2 coming to Game Pass next year. That is crazy. I did not even anticipate that because I mean, obviously, we know about Xbox with their lack of support from Japan in terms of their IPs and games and titles, and to actually see a lot of support. So in addition to the Yakuza games, I mean, is obviously I feel is gonna set the precedent for bringing the rest of the games, since they're technically haven't been all released out on the PS4 yet, at least the whole collection. So I believe three was released, 4 just recently came out, and then 5 is gonna come out next year. So I'm pretty sure after that collection comes out, then they'll probably see its way on the Xbox as well, considering if there's a strong enough support on the Xbox when it comes out on Game Pass. But that is crazy. I never would have thought Yakuza would have came to Xbox. It just seemed like just the title that just like was so ingrained and instilled with PlayStation that it never would have came to Xbox. And man, that is very surprising. And on top of that, for Game Pass, that is an immense value, man. An immense value. $10 a month, and you can play throughout the entirety of those games, like both, like each, like at least 150 hours if you want to do all the side stuff. If you don't want to do all the side stuff, they're all each roughly like 10 or so hour games. So all in all, that's a good get. That's a good get for Xbox for sure, man. That's probably my biggest surprise personally from this event. I did not see that coming at all. Just be under the assumption of Xbox's like I said, lack of support from Japan studios, development studios as well. And in line with that, they also announced pretty much all of Final Fantasy in terms of that's currently on PlayStation, at least 7, pretty much 7 all the way up until 15, with I think the omission of like 14 and like the MMO Final Fantasies. And then on top of that, the whole Kingdom Hearts collection coming to Xbox. Kingdom Hearts 3 came out for the Xbox, but it's like a weird gap with that, because it's always weird when you release, like, let's say the 3rd or 4th title in the genre for your console, but it's like clearly people don't have no reference to get to play it, so they're, at least at the surface, in my opinion, would be less likely to get the game, or the sales will be maybe somewhat at risk, because it seems like you're solely banking on people that have obviously played the game on a different console and then want to pick it up on the third console. I mean, on the third iteration. When I think about it, I guess I never really thought about that much, but thinking about it now, it always seems pretty weird that was the case. But I mean, then it always kind of hints at the prospect of kind of the previous titles coming out on the platform to catch up, which at least in this case it did. So this is a big damn get for Xbox, I'd say. Just kind of fleshing out their range of kind of titles for sure. This definitely did that, because man, shoot, if I you bringing Yakuza, that is just such a warm feeling that was brought to me. Just seeing that, it was a beautiful thing. I'm definitely at least gonna mess with it. Who knows? I might mess around, play the whole damn series again on Xbox. We'll see. But yeah, that is the biggest get I could think of, man. Also, there was this title that they announced at E3, which was called what was it? Crossfire. Basically looks like a souped up Counter-Strike, which actually is totally up my alley. I'm definitely interested in playing that. I didn't know that Remedy, the people who make Max Payne and the recent game Control, are actually working on that too. I believe, I guess there's some uh, new single player campaign that they're working on, at least specifically for the Xbox version. I guess maybe presumably going to PC at some point, maybe. But I guess this game is somewhat big in, like, I think Korea, because I've never heard of it until like at E3. And yeah, they gave us a little bit more insight on it. We got like a trailer. X gonna give it to you, man. I mean, this is just a total side note, but I'm just curious, like, how does that? How do? Who thinks of that? Like, you know what? It's like, man, this gameplay looking kind of dope. You know what? Who would go really good with this soundtrack? Let's get DMX on this, man. It's gonna be fire. Yeah, I want to get DMX on this joint. I'm always curious who like makes that ultimate decision. Like, you know what this trailer needs? DMX. X gonna give it to you. That's what it needs. I'm not complaining, obviously, but I just always found it weird that I was like, just, I guess for this game, you wouldn't think that hip hop would go with this type of game, but it does. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just walking in circles right now, but it was just a weird occurrence, if anything, you know. So, yeah. But that Crossfire, the gameplay looking kind of dope. Yeah, it looks like a really good blend. Yeah, it looks like a souped up Call of Duty. It really does. I mean, Counter Strike. It's, yeah, just very fast paced. Seems to be very, yeah, aim accuracy focused. Well, considering Counter Strike is not really focused on aiming, to be honest. Well, it's it's like it's like the Dark Souls of shooters. That's what I like to think of it now, because it's like you have to have a predetermined aim in your head. So, at least in my experience playing Counter Strike, which is mainly been it's probably not the best reference point, mainly the original OG Xbox, the console version of Counter Strike, which is probably super ass niche for sure right now, but technically is based on the most popular version of Counter Strike either way. So I mean, Counter Strike is Counter Strike. It's just that I'm playing with a controller, not a keyboard and mouse. But I digress. Yeah, it's just this false sense of aiming, and you have to have a predetermined I guess rate of fire, or like bullet spread in your head of where that bullets are actually gonna go in your thought process. At least that's how the pros do it. Like, if you could do some, in terms of casual Counter Strike, which I do from time to time, it's pretty doable. Since I'm used to kind of how the game operates, but nonetheless, man, that's definitely speaking to me. I'm definitely going to try it out when it does come out. It is free to play. Curious how they're going to treat that model. I could probably see it being like, I think it's called, not Warframe, but it was this other shooter that's currently on the PS4 that's free to play that I messed with around this time, I think last year. Warface. I think it's Warface. I knew it was War something. So that was pretty good. Pretty good getting in it. It's exclusive to Xbox. I guess I'm assuming console exclusivity, but I'm not sure if all this revised stuff is going to come to PC at some point. Or actually, no. I think it's PC and Xbox. Yeah, I believe it's PC and Xbox. For a lot of the titles they did show, for the most part, and Yakuza as well. So that's pretty cool. So if you do have a PC and maybe didn't jump on the gun with Yakuza on Steam when they came out, you got the biggest convenience ever, being able to play or have the convenience. I don't think they confirmed if you can like cross save or cross progress between the platforms, but that'd be pretty dope if possible. I doubt it, because it's like a third party IP, and at least if Outer Worlds was any indication, because everybody assumed because it was on Game Pass and that it's available on PC and Xbox One, that you can kind of cross save or whatever, which was a little bit of a hurt, a little bit of a sting. At least for somebody like me that has the luxury of both. But obviously, everybody doesn't have that or cares anyway. So not a big deal, really. So, a couple other stuff, little minute things I saw. Streets of Rage 4. They showed it. I was almost giddy. I almost thought they were about to drop a release date, but they at least it looks like it's gonna be on Game Pass. So for people who are fans of Streets of Rage 4, there you go. I mean, Streets of Rage series previously. You have your outlet if you're on Game Pass. Trying to think if there's anything that stood out. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that was like meh, like didn't really speak to me personally, but I mean, I could see a lot of people digging it. What else? It was some other. No, that was it. My friend Pedro. That game looked cool to me. That's gonna be on Game Pass. It seems like Max Payne, but in indie form, which is totally up my alley. Well, anything Max Payne really. Anything Max Payne related is generally up my alley because I love that damn game. Definitely my top favorite. I dare say my top 5 favorite games of all time. I have to do that at some point when probably news gets low. Latter seasons, I guess, or latter seasons in the year. But yeah, that's at least what spoke to me. I know there's a lot of other stuff. I think there was some updates for like Sea of Thieves. What else? It was an update for one other game. I thought it was one game that looked a lot like State of Decay, but it wasn't. Oh, Rust. They announced Rust. I guess that's like a big, not necessarily big, as like Fortnite and all the other games, but I believe it's a battle royale game in a similar vein, which I think has been only on PC, but it is coming to Xbox. But I don't think they said it was exclusive, so it might more than likely kind of go the same, go to PUBG route and go to eventually come to PS4 as well. Maybe like some delayed time exclusivity stuff, whatever. So sorry, video people, my eye is like just yelling at me right now. It's like, what are you doing? Not trying to see right now. I'm not gonna let you see, cause you not. So yeah, I'm trying to make sure I covered everything that I wanted, but I think that was it. Make sure I got the details for Yakuza. Yeah, Yakuza 0, 1, or 0 Kiwami, which is a remake of the original one for the PS2, and Kiwami 2, which is in the same vein as well. Game Pass, man. That's the biggest takeaway from this. Game Pass is like a serious force to be reckoned with. It's like Game Pass is about to be the new Netflix for games, in my opinion. It's definitely setting itself up to be. I think they've realized all the feedback and a reception that a lot of people have been enjoying and liking about Game Pass, and I think potentially bringing a lot of people that maybe are on the fence about Xbox, or obviously been tarnished or burned by the initial kind of news with Xbox coming out now. So all in all, man, that's the biggest takeaway for this. If I were to say anything, is like Xbox Game Pass is about to be a threat. They did announce also some exclusive new IPs. None that really stood out to me. I think there was this one from Obsidian, the guys that did make Outer Worlds. Not that, I guess that particular team. There was a team that was making, I think it's called Grounded, where it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the game. That's at least what I'd initially think. Where it's like, yeah, you're a miniature person and you're trying to survive, in this large, vast world that's, huge to you, but you're just in the backyard of somebody's house or something. I don't know. So yeah, I think that's enough about that. Yeah, they showed some aspects of Bleeding Edge a little bit. They did announce a release date for Bleeding Edge. I believe it's March 20th or 24th. So that's cool. Good to see a release date for that. I got in the alpha of that, and I swear I really hate, this is a first world problem more than anything, but all these damn betas and alphas, and then like all these new games coming out, it's hard to juggle, man. Okay, it's like I, y'all got to be considerate of the times that we have. Why don't you make the alphas like in times that games aren't coming out or on the cusp of them coming out or something? Cause it's too much. It's too much. I mean, I guess this is coming from somebody that has a full time job while doing this too. So obviously, if I had that luxury of having all the time in the world, sure. But uh, first world problems, man. What I would give to have the time freedom as of a what you would call it, like a young kid, but the wisdom and knowledge of a older man. But I guess that'll never happen, will it? Or who knows? Who knows? Yeah, and I guess there's some other stuff that's popping out on the weekend too. And then yeah, Project X Cloud, um, which they revealed some more details about. I believe the biggest thing that caught my attention was that it's going to be free for people that have Game Pass, in addition to people that have or bought games with Xbox. It's a little bit unclear as to the details or dynamics of that, but at least at the surface, or at a marketing standpoint, it seems like in terms of all the details, is that basically as long as you own a game or any game you purchase on Xbox, I'm assuming specifically their storefront. Not sure how disc-based games are maybe treated, or maybe it's exclusively you can only stream from your console, which they did say you can do. I personally haven't messed with xCloud yet, because it's only for Android. I do have one, but it's a super ass old Note 4, which I guess technically that still might be legit. So actually I may have to look into that. But I think they also announced today that it's gonna be on PC too. So PC2 just keeps triggering me. This joke, inside joke around my friends, where making a satire everything. guys, we've heard you. I know you're wanting it, and we've heard your call. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you PC2. Dumb. But yeah. So that kind of is a big get for PC exclusive folks that don't want to jump in on Xbox in terms of that. So they kind of have the convenience of streaming titles that are technically exclusive to Xbox, in a sense where if you don't have it on Steam, if it isn't available on Steam, or yeah, console exclusive, which not too many actually, now that I think about it. But nonetheless, like I guess one that comes to mind, Halo 5, you can only create maps on the PC. You can't play any games, but with this you can stream it, or xCloud, you can stream it and play it that way, at least some kind of constellation, if any. So yeah, this is kind of making Stadia look a little weak, considering everything, at least for people that or have that itch for just some convenient gaming. And then on top of that, Game Pass. So like if people that aren't really that hardcore into games, or maybe just have some time on their hands, between stuff, or some extended time, just get a month of Game Pass. You literally are good in a lot of scenarios. Obviously with some caveats of some games that you can access on PlayStation 4 or that is exclusive to PlayStation 4. So, um, yeah, man. Game Pass is a force to be reckoned with. That's the biggest takeaway I can really take from this overall. They did announce some additional titles for Project X Cloud 2 that are available. There's one dude from EA who just looked very creepy for some reason. I don't know if it was just a front, but when he was presenting, it was something off. I don't know. It's kind of like it's kind of like Mark Cerny at PS4 when he just his demeanor. You know, somebody just has a weird demeanor where it's like kind of off, that they might be an alien. They might the right opportunity, they might take you in the shed and like, give you that anal probe real quick and, give you the Men in Black flash of memory or whatever. That's basically what I felt. I don't know. I just felt weird. I felt weird during that whole thing. It was just it was a interesting experience to say the least. So yeah, that was fun. But overall, the pacing of the whole show in general, it was like, I guess technically 2 hours. Honestly, it went pretty quick. I didn't really notice the time. Maybe a few select titles. I was like, let me see what's on Twitter or something. But outside of that, the pacing was pretty good actually for XO performance. I mean, obviously you have the I guess expected presentation woes of, oh, that Jim, man, these titles are going to be great. Let me tell you, all right, you're going to have a select amount of titles and they're just going to be fantastic only on Xbox, stuff like that, where it's like, okay, all right, this is a little a little markety-ish. And then you you got the Xbox fans that got paid to fly out or something, or just diehard Xbox fans that just in the Xbox ambassador program for like 20 years or something like that. Stuff like that where obviously there's a bias of being proposed to cheering for Xbox. One thing that just came to my mind too is that for xCloud specifically, they did mention universal support for controllers, so not just the Xbox One controller or limiting folks to the Xbox One controller. They clearly mentioned and stated the Sony PlayStation 4 controller, which I think that was pretty bold. That was pretty bold and respectable for Xbox. I think Xbox out of PlayStation and Xbox has been fairly humble in terms of acknowledging their alternate or competing platforms in a respectable manner, and not going for the gusto or going for the throat, going for the balls, and like like let's say a game reviewed badly, or like let's say Death Stranding, for example, like oh man, all this miscellaneous delivery Amazon stuff, am I right? I don't know, some like what the whoever is the person marketing individual behind like Xbox's Twitter account, which basically that's ultimately where it falls down to now that I think about it. So maybe I just went in another circle again, but you picked up what I was putting down. So yeah, man. But yeah, the biggest takeaway, I'll say it again, for Xbox or XO19 is Game Pass is a force to be reckoned with, because you are getting so much damn value out of just $10 a month to play like a heaping huge megaton load of games, which is crazy. I mean, obviously you're gonna have the Netflix caveat of some games or some titles being eliminated out of the mix, where they do notify you and stuff. But I mean, at least for the big hitters, I mean, I think they're still going to stay, but it's a lot to gobble on if you are just even not even fully invested in Xbox, or maybe on the fence. Just like, and then with these deals where like I think around this holiday season, you can get Xbox Game Pass for $1 for 3 months. that is like the value there is immense. And I'm not trying to be no you might as well put me on the panel with Xbox. Like, yeah, guys, all right. So Xbox, man, this boy, let me tell you, all right, this value is immense. Okay, you better get on this right now before you lose it. All right. I need where's the ShamWow at? I need the damn ShamWow. Somebody give me some buckets of water and like just guck, just clean up and just talk about Xbox, and I guess somehow spin that to be greatness of Xbox. Like, man, this floor is dirty as hell, but you know what isn't? Xbox. All right, so you better get some Game Pass. Why don't you? Yeah, Xbox, XO, Xbox One X. Yeah, X gonna give it to you. You know what? That makes sense now. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's the most like narcissistic reason they used DMX for that song for Crossfire. Crossfire X, Xbox X gonna give it to you. All right. I mean, I don't even have it. I do have a degree. Never mind. I was gonna say I don't have a degree, but I do. So that does kind of make sense that I put it together like that. But all these conspiracy theorists and private eye investigators ain't got none on me. Okay, I put that together clearly within the time frame of this podcast. So I'm just let that be known right now. Is that a humble brag? Probably, but we're just gonna go past that. So, yeah, man, goodness, man, yeah, that I'm still amazed by what I just kind of saw. Xbox Game Pass is legit now. It is crazy how much value you get. And this is, let me just kind of disclaim real quick, okay? I have PlayStation 4. I have a Nintendo Switch. I mean, I will say I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Xbox. But, when there's some legit titles like, Death Stranding, obviously, and stuff like that, I go where the games are. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. All right. Okay. I'm done gushing from about Xbox right now. But I'm just saying, if you are on the fence about Xbox or you're curious to try it out, they got the Xbox One All Digital Edition. They was announced some Black Friday deals. $150 for Xbox One All Digital Edition. If you never want to get a disc for the game, you can just download all these games. Xbox Game Pass. That's a damn value, all right? Get Xbox, all right? This is not even sponsored. Just get an Xbox. I mean, Xbox, you could sponsor me if you want. I'm not gonna be opposed. I mean, you're gonna give me free stuff, but this is just legitimately myself. Just for somebody who's like just trying to get into games on the cheap. This is a big, easy entry point to do that. So, and that's enough of the Xbox fanboy hour. We'll move on. Kind of in contrast. Now, not looking so bright. For those that don't know, Google Stadia is on the cusp of its launch. I believe next Tuesday, technically. So for next Monday, I believe the Google Stadia launches. So for those that don't know, Google Stadia is going to be Google's answer to compete with the video gaming market by providing a convenient way to play games seamlessly and easily, supposedly, quotation marks, in terms of basically letting you stream games and not have to load or download games. And at least the general concept is basically what Microsoft xCloud has. They're basically trying to sell you to, be somewhat more legit than that, which, to be honest, pretty hard to, I don't even know, man. Pretty hard to fathom being flawless and not having any issues whatsoever. I guess with the obvious caveats of people, if you have horrible internet where you're at in terms of your area, of obviously you're gonna have issues. But even for like the um, everyday man that has okay internet, decent internet, whatever, if that's even gonna be legitimate for them, which is, I don't know. I don't know. It's a hard sell. It's a hard sell. But either way, this period, I forgot what they call it, Stadia Ultimate or Stadia Premium, where basically, if you were, or what is it? No, a Stadia Founders Edition, where basically they're gonna send you a Google Chrome Ultra, which is basically capable of 4K and I think HDR. I want to say, could be wrong on that, but basically a Chromecast 4K Ultra, which you can get anywhere currently, sure, certain. And then the Google Stadia controller, which at least at the time was suspected to be, or was promised during the initial announcement back in June, to let you to connect directly to Wi-Fi, and in some type of weird magical voodoo, somewhat mitigate the lag that at the surface you're probably more than likely to get and or perceive. So, but lo and behold, with some news that recently came out in a Reddit AMA for Stadia, some perfect timing, by the way. They couldn't have timed it any more better. They did break down the news. Well, actually, I think the tidbit of the Stadia controllers having to be wired in now until they actually figure it out, which they, at least previously promised they would. They are basically, that's a requirement now for the time being. And then what other disappointing news did they reveal that is just not looking good for Stadia? They did reveal the titles, which I guess in a sense can be kind of depressing, kind of disappointing as well. It's just a lot of titles that have been very like, just not notable. That's probably the biggest, just not really notable titles, I'd say, or argue. So just to list them out, because they're very few and far between, actually. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which was the game that they were testing the beta out before they even formulated or announced Stadia. Destiny 2, Guilt. I think Guilt is exclusive to Stadia for the time being. I think that's the only title. Just Dance 2020. I don't even know how you're going to do a game like that. Why would you want to do Just Dance 2020 on a Stadia? But okay. Kine. I don't even know what that is. That's how it looks like, an indie title. Mortal Kombat 11. That's pretty legitimate. And that's going to be a very interesting test, or, testament to how legitimate Stadia is going to be. And that's, I'll give Stadia some credit for that, in terms of, having a game such as a fighting game that's really going to show its flaws, if there's any, with Stadia, in terms of lag and how bad is it. Because, like Mortal Kombat playing on the PlayStation 4, I could barely get some combos out with the standard timing. So, man, if I'm playing on Stadia, that frame rate better be flawless. That input window better be like exact. Okay, I'm just saying. And then Red Dead Redemption 2. I bet people are probably gonna be making this argument. I can see it already. Like, the game is pretty laggy in general in terms of responding to your input. So I think it'll probably actually line up pretty fine. I mean, not to hurt on Red Dead Redemption 2. I played through that game like at least 100 hours, 60 to 100 hours I played when it came out. So I saw it through the whole end. I thoroughly enjoyed it. One of the best games I played. It's kind of hard to argue if it's better than Red Dead Redemption 1, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I need some more time. I need some more time to reflect on that. Maybe playing it again in PC on the PC version when it comes out on Steam. It's already came out on Rockstar's platform, PC platform, and I think Epic Game Store. So I'm waiting for the Steam version because they kind of screwed us over. Yeah. So Red Dead Redemption 2, I don't think you'll really notice any issues. Samurai Showdown, yet another fighting game that probably would show any flaws if there were any. With the Stadia. Thumper, I think that's a rhythm game, which always have been pretty adamant about response time. So that's going to be pretty fascinating to see, and I guess practicality, how that spans out. Then you got pretty much the whole Tomb Raider reboot trilogy: Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I beat the first one. I still gotta. I put like a few hours in the second one, and haven't even got a chance to touch the third one because obviously I'm behind. So, yeah, these are all, and that's the other argument too. These are all titles that we more than likely, at least for us gaming enthusiasts, have already played at one point or another. So I don't really see see the need or desire to jump in early for the Google Stadia lineup, other than at least the perks they kind of throw across you or dangle the fruit in front of your head is you get your exclusive, get first dibs on your gamer tag, but it's like how legitimate is that going to be if like Stadia fails here? But I mean, I know they're probably gonna try their best to keep it up, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good for Stadia founders, technically. For people that are on the fence about it, I mean, obviously you can wait until next year, which is when they're technically going to go out to everyone else. So there's a limited window for only people who got the founders editions can play at this period next week. If you got the founders editions, which is the Stadia controller and the Chromecast 4K Ultra. And another thing to note too is that Stadia will only work on the Stadia edition for Chromecast 4K Ultras, and not if you conveniently bought a Chromecast 4K Ultra, you won't be able to have access to this. So I don't know, man. I mean, I guess to also provide information, I was like, okay, this might be legit, this might be groundbreaking. So I put my chips in terms of getting a founders edition, but I am very very, very close to canceling that altogether. Cause yeah, just all of this, and then it was some other detail in terms of the AMA where it was like, what type of tone deaf mess is this? Who do I have to punch in their mouth to knock some sense into them about what they just said? Cause that was just reckless. They trying to start a fight. They trying to start a riot from what they were trying to do. So yeah, here's some of the details in addition from the Reddit AMA. So the first one, the achievement system won't have a UI at launch, but it will still capture achievements so you can see them when a UI is available. So you're probably gonna have either you're just gonna not get any sense of fulfillment for achievements, not gonna get that satisfying toast for Xbox achievements, or the little chime for PS4 trophies. And I'm just playing in my head now, is that when the UI actually comes up, you're just gonna get inundated with just consistent notifications, boom ding, boom ding, boom ding, boom ding. Oh, right, all right. This is very, very delayed gratification if I've ever seen any. And then what I mentioned earlier, the Founders Edition Chromecast Ultra will support Stadia on launch day, but existing Chromecast won't. So okay, that's fine. I get it. Sure, reward the people who got the Founders Edition. Okay, fine. And then family sharing is not available at launch. This is the most like uppity. Put your nose in the air, put the pinky up with the tea, and sip it while you got your ass out type of comment. This is probably close to Phil Harrison with releasing the original Xbox, or the E3 Xbox One announcement, where he's like, well, for those guys who are on the fence about or not really okay with our policies with Xbox One, where they had the extreme policies that they were about to potentially, well, at least they were pretty much on the verge of implementing, which was what was that dumb stuff? Licensing of games, so you can't resell or sell games, Xbox games specifically. What else? That was the biggest one, really. It was some other, very just Victorian, if you will, type, just very what dare I say Amish, but that's like no technology. But I'm trying to get the point across there. So nonetheless, so this was their response with family sharing. So family sharing is not available at launch. Recommended to just buy a second version of a $60 game on your account for a kid or other family member to play with, and then eventually be able to share it. Like, what will that defeats the purpose. That defeats the damn purpose of freaking getting the family sharing because you want to save $60. Why would I want to do that if at some point it's going to come back? And wouldn't you think you want to give us the benefit because you went back on your promise of having it around launch? Oh, that was tone deaf, man. I'm just saying, Jesus, listen to your audience or something. I'm just, goodness, that I mean, that kind of pissed me off. I'm just saying that I just got a little pissed off. I just wanted to hit whoever said that. I mean, just like them songs where you just like for no reason want to hit somebody. Just that comment right there just made me want to slap him in the face. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Russell. I forgot who the guy was ultimately that said that, but that was not right. You shouldn't have went there. You should go back. You should go back where you came from. I mean, not lose your job or anything. I'm just saying, like, figuratively, no offense. Then Stadia on iOS will arrive eventually. So I believe that was supposed to come at launch. Okay, fine. I mean, at least for me personally, I wouldn't be affected. I don't really mess with Stadia or stream games or play games really remotely that much, or like on the go. So as long as like PC is fine, okay, PC TV, that's okay. And then apparently you need your phone to buy games for Stadia, implying that there's no web UI currently. That's a little bit of a sting because I know a lot of people do use their computers, include myself, that would like to buy it. I mean, I have my phone if I need it, but it's like I like the option of both. And then Stadia Buddy Pass will not be available to founders at launch. So, and this is on the cusp, mind you, of the Stadia coming out. And man, it is just horrible. It's like you're paying to be a beta tester. That's what it really feels like. And I feel like they, considering all this, they should have pushed the date back. I don't know why they're so adamant about November or getting it out before the season, but I guess before the next consoles come out. But that's still a lot of time. You can maybe release it around E3, kind of capitalize on the hype and excitement of Xbox and PS4. Maybe snap some exclusives that you can maybe play on Stadia first before they do come on the consoles when they release evidently. But yeah, man, it seems like they need more time to kind of flesh all this out before releasing it. Because pretty much you're paying $130 to be a beta tester, is what it feels like currently. On top of this, you have to buy the games as well. So it's looking pretty bleak for Google Stadia, to say the least. From what we've been told so far, very hard to see on the bright side and them really thriving. Especially, the biggest gripe, like I said in previous podcasts, that basically they need to really compete with all these other platforms like Game Pass, which gives you the awesome convenience of downloading games, as well as, well, at least soon, being able to stream them as well, in terms of if you want to save time or not really want to commit, or just want to test the game out first before fully commit and stuff like that. That's the biggest, I think that's the biggest kind of compromise you can make, considering how internet is very restricting to some folks that have data caps, which is going to be a big hurdle or a big wall for a lot of people that would maybe possibly be interested in Stadia, because obviously they're not going to want to go over their data cap, and as long as because your playtime is technically restricted to how much bandwidth you're able to kind of let go with every month, it's going to be a hard sell for a lot of those folks. So Google Stadia has a lot of adversity facing it right now. I'll definitely, that's pretty apparent. So I'm very fascinated, if anything, to see how they would actually succeed here. But I know at some point, especially when Stadia could or might fail, they're gonna have to go to a next Netflix style model and try to get people in the same manner as Game Pass. That's the only fighting chance I could see for this succeeding at this point, especially considering all the just horrible news that just came out regarding this, man. Because it is looking bleak and very, very slim right now for Google Stadia. The new consoles have been announced. People are going to be hyped about that, or anticipating that, saving up for that. It's a hard sell. It's a hard sell as somebody who's enthusiastic about video games, considering everything that I want personally. It's a hard ass sell. But yeah, I do hope Stadia does succeed in some to learn from this and thrive and be a better platform when it comes out to the masses next year. But at least initially, man, it's not looking bright. So all right, that's enough just ripping on Stadia, which, I mean, I already said I do have a Founders Edition reserved, but just to see if this is gonna be horrible. I just want to see the train wreck, to be honest, if it is going to be one, just to see. Because I've never actually legitimately, I guess, witnessed just a train wreck. You know what I mean? When you just see, like, you can't look away, because you want to see, like, you've never really seen it before. So you want to see just how horrible it gets, which is, it's kind of bad now I think about it. Not really. It's like I'm supporting them. I'm like on the fence. I'm like, hey, oh man, y'all, oh, Stadia's really good, man. Oh man, y'all was sleeping, boy, man, y'all. I told y'all it was gonna be something, and then like, well, you know what? Well, damn, yeah, we all saw this coming, didn't we? Ooh, boy, I mean, yeah, it's just not ready yet. Maybe what, 10 years from now, So, I'm gonna be very humble about that. I could see it going either way, honestly, because it just all depends on how it's gonna perform. It really is. It really is. So, all right, enough. I guess rant about Google Stadia, really, because that annoyed me. That damn comment. Well, you could buy it again, and then when we do have it available, you can have it. Like, no, 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 thank you. I won't get Stadia then. How about that? Huh? You like that? Um, Another interesting tidbit of news that came out this week, or a potential, I guess it's somewhat in rumor-ish territory, but according to SteamDB, there was a mysterious new hidden achievement added to Resident Evil 2. So, at least for most people, that's going to indicate that possibly there's some potential DLC or some interesting reference to maybe Resident Evil 3 or something like that. That's what at least a lot of people are suspecting. Maybe some Resident Evil 2 Ultra Omega Booty Fighter 4 Omega Ultra Alpha EX Hard. I don't know. Actually, man, I really hope somebody does that. Oh man, you play that man, that EX man, that Resident Evil 2 EX Hard booty ass booty ass EX Hard Extra mode. Oh man. That is what it's called. It's because it's so hard to pronounce. Is that hard in terms of the scope? Because Jesus, man, it really is what they said it was. I'm very curious to see what it is. I love me some Resident Evil 2, man. I mean, definitely, I dare say it's. I'm still kind of debating that. It's definitely up there at the top top games of 2019 for sure. And I'm probably gonna do it at some point. Maybe have a my personal games of 2019. I think that'll be pretty fun to kind of divulge and maybe have like a real time kind of decision making on the podcast. I think that'd be kind of interesting. So I might mess with that. Who knows? Probably towards the end of the year. Maybe December, I'm seeing likely that might happen. You may not know, or I mean, you obviously know. At least that's what I'm thinking. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? But I think there was something hinted at Devil May Cry 5 as well, but I wasn't able to find that yet. I'm not sure if that was debunked, but at least I thought it was worth mentioning. And then for Resident Evil 2. The same achievement was also added, to the Japanese version, Biohazard, as well, which is at least adding a little bit more credence to what this could be. And then they at least in terms of what it looks like Japanese characters, but it's believed to be translated as tentative. So it's like, we don't know what it is. Do you know what it is? So it seems to be like a placeholder, potentially for something, which is very interesting. I don't see Resident Evil just adding just one achievement just to add one achievement. Doesn't seem to be Capcom's MO. I don't think so. Okay, that was pretty much all the news I wanted to cover this week. So y'all know why y'all here. Probably not, but. Okay. Let's get into that game discussion. Let's get into that juicy game discussion. The elephant in the room, this whole podcast. Death Stranding. Death. Gotta do the F. Death Stranding. So I put like about 30 hours in this game. So clearly, I at least didn't have any displeasure with it, or maybe I'm kind of masochistic, but that's a that's a discussion for another day. Maybe I like pain, but maybe let's not talk about that right now. But Death Stranding, man. So wow, where do I start with this game? Where do I even start? Where do I even start? Where do you even start with this? So I'll at least go at the surface for what a lot of people are saying. Oh, it's a walking simulator. It's a walking simulator. I would have to pretty much disagree. It's not a walking simulator. but it is a delivery simulator. I will give them that. So at least the gameplay loop of the game, not considering all the other external optional factors that come into play, is basically going from point A to point B, maybe depending on how you play, going to point C as well, where pretty much you deliver a set amount of packages and equipment, items, what have you, to one point to another point. That's generally the main gameplay loop where you take, a significant amount of time traversing to said point through, various obstacles, whether it be the mules. So mules are basically like, I guess, rogue transporters or porters. I think that's the official term for them in this game's lore, where you basically get well, I guess they're basically fascinated and like infatuated with just delivering packages. They can't get enough of it because they get some drug of likes for delivering packages successfully. Some weird lore that's in there that I never picked up. I guess that was maybe through some Kodak that I was paying attention to at the time, but that's apparently their kind of MO. So basically what they'll do, like, let's say if you're traveling to deliver some stuff and you have like a lot of stuff on you, they'll try and attempt to take it from you through like throwing these like electronic spears that will like basically drop stuff from your person. And then that's generally what they'll generally try to do. They'll ride in these trucks and try to get you that way as well, to and they always of course seem to be way faster than you, so they'll catch up if they're like far away as well. And then they also, if you're in an area, a designated area for that, they show it on the map too, where it's orange. You'll get this ping system where it's pretty much like your system that you have. I don't even know what you call it, but it's like, I'm gonna call him RD Johnny 5. I'm gonna call him Johnny 5, but y'all pretty much know what I'm talking about. For those that play the game, you got Johnny 5, who can do the same thing where he can ping all the locations to look for dangerous terrain and stuff like that. So pretty much they have the same technology to some extent. So they use that to try to find you, or I guess in theory any other person, but obviously from a gameplay standpoint, just you. And then that's how they can start tracking you. So when they do that, they'll show on the map where your location is, or the location where they last pinged you successfully from. So then you kind of have to debate there, where you can, run, try to get out the area, or, just take it in stride and like, hey, you're going to have to fight me for these damn packages. I'm going to deliver these damn packages. I don't care. All right. Amazon been treating me good all this year. Okay. I'm trying to get this damn promotion. All right. Nobody going to get in my damn way. That would actually be a pretty interesting show. I would watch that. Like some real hard life. Like, ooh, even like a reality TV aspect of it, where it's like you're just like, it's like delivering stuff, but it's like such a hard, weird tone about it. Like, hey, I'm trying to live out here, man. I'm trying to deliver these damn packages. You hear me? All right? It's life or death. Deliver the package or don't. It's your choice. Oh, red on delivery. Do not deliver. Son? That'd be kind of dope. That's all right. You know what? I'm just giving that out for free. All right. I'm just getting that out for free. Anybody who want to take that, we could work on a deal. I'll put in my 2 cents. I mean, obviously you're going to be paying me more than that, but I'm just saying. So, so there's that enemy type that you'll come across that'll kind of obviously get in your way when you're trying to deliver the package. Then you also have BTs, which are short for beach things, which is basically plays into Dead Rising's lore. Death Stranding, where basically they're like the dead, kind of like it's hard to describe, like ghostly type enemy, kind of somewhat supernatural looking, where basically when you get within close proximity of them, and then you have the aid of Johnny 5, who will kind of and this is literally how it looks for people. Look for like any of those people nearby. So, it'll give you clear indication of if it's close or not, because it'll go faster in terms of your Johnny 5 meter or whatever. And then when it gets close, it'll go really fast and change color. And then when you get to that point, you'll have to hold your breath while you're walking close to it in order to avoid any combat. So let's say in the event specifically with BTs, if you happen to get caught and you're taken away, well, basically that's what happens when you get caught. They find you and they are trying to take you to their world, at least from what I got so far with the story. And then once they do that, you're basically, at least I only got caught once, because it's like I swear every time, like not really spoilers, but you do get vehicles in the game. So I did get one vehicle that does make traversing much easier. But I'm pretty sure Kojima's way of balancing it out is BTs, because when you have a vehicle and you're trying to drive and then you get the damn annoying ass cutscene that your Johnny 5 comes out indicating, telling you that, hey, BTs are in the area, so you obviously can't drive. Or at least that's what I thought. That's how I got killed the one time, or getting killed. I'll get into that. When I did, I was like, you know what, fuck them BTs. I was like, hey, you know what, fuck them BTs, okay? So I was like, you know what, I think I could just go fast enough and they won't get me, right? No. So I tried driving past the BTs and just, they can't get me. I'm fast, all right? I got these wheels. They ain't gonna touch me. And then lo and behold, that's ultimately what happened, because I guess they just stop your at least the bike I had, like, outright, and then pretty much they'll start grabbing you from the bike. So then you're like now at a even more severe disadvantage, because you don't even have the kind of jump start, because you gotta get off your bike and then they're still grabbing at you while you're getting off your bike, and then you have to try to beat them off. Not beat them off. I don't know where that. Well, okay. So you don't have to like shake them off from grabbing you down into their world. And then ultimately they ultimately got me, because they were too massive, and then I couldn't mash fast enough. It was like kind of a losing battle. So at least in my scenario, at least the areas I was at, I'm not sure if it's based on where you're located at and where they grab you, that you it seems like you fight a mandatory boss. At least that's what it seemed like for me, specifically in the area I was at. I'm not sure if it's like based on location or what, but that's what it kind of felt like. So it was this boss that I just seemed like he was ridiculously hard, or I was just like kind of confused by what was going on. I was so in like disbelief and confusion that like I couldn't process what was going on at the moment. So I was like, well, I don't know what I'd do. And then I don't think I had any adequate weapons at the time. So then I was like, well, I'm just going to die, I guess. So, and that's ultimately what happened, because I didn't have any proper tools to fight it. And then, so when you, I guess, die or get a game, not even a game over, I guess your punishment for death is that you have to find your body on the other side. And then I guess from a story standpoint, your BB, and that's, I guess I didn't even mention that. Your BB, for those that may be familiar, it's a baby or a fetus that, I guess, keeps you connected to the other universe, kind of. And it at least from a story standpoint, is not really clearly known the overall story of how the BBs work, but essentially they help you identify the beings from I forgot the term they use for the other side, the dead side or deaf side of the universe, or whatever. Because there's technically two sides, I guess, the living side and the deaf side. There's some more accurate terms for that, but they don't come to my head at the moment. So there's that factor coming into play. And then what else? That's really it. That's really the kind of the loop I've come across so far. So, but then on top of that, you're delivering the packages to these places, and then the I guess general goal for the game, or at least the implied goal for the game so far, is just to reconnect the world, which is a good message in terms of kind of America's climate now is trying to reunite the world and connect the world in that sense. So you're basically trying to do that. That's the somewhat the main plot of the game. I'm pretty sure there's more to it than that, but that's at least what I'm trying to lead on in terms of not getting too spoilery about stuff I've seen so far. Then the really awesome aspect of the game is the asynchronous multiplayer, which is kind of similar to Dark Souls, where it's like, oh, somebody left a message and it said, oh, you die now, and then you get killed by some random monster that you didn't expect. Well, you would have seen if you didn't look at the message, but that dude was a troll and just wanted to kill you for the fun of it. So stuff like that. But actually, it's in the more positive side for Death Stranding, which is really cool now. So basically, and I know I was seeing some of Hideo's interviews. It seems like his angle or kind of point in terms of making this is to encourage more positivity amongst connecting with people. So it's a lot of really cool moments I've had so far with the game, where basically, let's say I'm trying to traverse to this other area, and let's say there's a huge crater in the way that is like a huge steep huge drop where I would die if I were to fall there. Basically, if you have a ladder, which in my case I did, you can basically pull out a ladder and drop it, and then you can go across that way. That's at least one way of doing it. It's a lot of ways to kind of traverse difficult terrain, which there is a lot in this game for those reasons, I assume, to kind of initiate that whole kind of process of doing that. So basically, when you do that, you set it down, and then potentially anybody else who comes across in that same area has the chance of seeing that ladder I put down and be able to cross it. And then their kind of way of incentivizing doing stuff like this is a like system, which basically is the game's, I guess, kind of alternate way of upgrading yourself or boosting your stats overall, progression, which basically is like a very weird satirical take on our world today in terms of like Grand Theft Auto. Like, it seems like something like Grand Theft Auto, like, in terms of like just on the nose, like satire that like they're known for, where basically it works in theory as the same thing. Like, the more likes you get, the more I guess validated you feel, and the more encouraged you feel to do stuff you generally wouldn't do just to get more likes and stuff like that, which is pretty damn accurate. I got to give Hideo props for that, because that's pretty ingenious. Pretty like on your face satire of the world today, and then you get this weird, like, oddly kind of off but oddly satisfying sound like every time you successfully do stuff. And man, I gotta say, after you successfully deliver a package from point A to point B, the person at the ending point will say, hey man, oh man, Sam Porter Bridges, dude, you're a legend. And I guess that's the running theme with Hideo games. Like, everybody's a legend. Every main character you play is a legend, which is not a bad thing. I'm not complaining about that, but I just found that's a common correlation so far with all the Hideo Kojima made games I played so far that were created by him. That, like, yeah, man, you're a legend. You're a legend on the battlefield, man. You're a legend of delivering packages, man. So after you do that, you get this stat screen, like, let's say, like end mission screen, like Devil May Cry or something, in terms of kind of grading your performance in terms of how you did on the delivery. So basically, they seem to mainly judge you on distance and unique path traveled. So it's kind of cool that they kind of actually reward you for getting lost at times, because honestly, I found myself doing that a lot. So there's like scenarios where I'm like, I want to kind of avoid. I just got the damn cutscene of the BTs being in this area. Can I just go another route? And I don't really feel like dealing with them. So, in some cases you can do that, even though it'll take longer, but it's like, if I just don't have to deal with the tensity of like dealing with BTs and stuff like that, I'm fine with that. So in some of those cases you can do that. And it seems like, in my opinion, at least from what I played, the game does reward you more for that, because I think it goes by the amount of distance traveled, and not necessarily the efficiency of the distance traveled. In some cases, I've seen that there is more emphasis on delivering within a time frame, though. So it's kind of it kind of depends. It kind of depends on the mission or the delivery, basically. So yeah, and then it's just very fulfilling just seeing all that. You get a nice little fat ass with the nice little fat ass, Well, it sounded like I said fat ass, but you know what? Sure, fat ass. I'm saying it with an accent, like I'm from New York. I'm from New York. From Boston. Fat ass. Sorry, that was horrible. I'm gonna work on it. So, for those that just don't know the general, I guess, loop or gameplay of the game, majority of the time you will be walking and delivering a package from point A to point B. That's just how the game is. So that's straight up how the game is overall. But it's just what I found. I know a lot of people are complaining about, like, man, you really need to rush to chapter 3 because that's when the game picks up, apparently. And yeah, like the first 10 hours of the game is a slog. I honestly didn't feel that. I'm not sure if I just had the bias of other people's, reviews and opinions that I'm like, yeah, this is gonna suck or something like that. Actually, it wasn't really that. It was more like, this is interesting. I'm curious what it's gonna be like. And then when I was playing, I was like, this is not bad. I'm kind of just liking absorbing the environment and just absorbing just the experience of playing it. You know what I mean? Because it seems like the tension is that they want you to take a more methodical, kind of gradual, slow pace approach to the game, which reminds me a lot actually of Red Dead Redemption 2, which had a more methodical, slower pace than traditional action games now, which I kind of liked and I thought was pretty refreshing, which is why I ultimately did enjoy that game pretty thoroughly. Which is, yeah, I would say this is in the same camp. But yeah, man, overall, it was just something weirdly, oddly satisfying and fulfilling about delivering a package from point A to point B and all the trials and tribulations you go through to do that, and the potential issues you come across while doing that. Which is, I just found pretty just engaging and interesting, and it just kept me wanting to play. So obviously I'm 30 hours in now, so I'm definitely not stopping. And there is combat too, but it's very rare in comparison to the main loop of you delivering packages. Like, you can fight BTs and fight the mules, but it's it's just different in terms of the combat. It's not as frequent as let's say Metal Gear, which is understandable why a lot of people playing this games obviously are more than likely going to be fans who played Metal Gear, the Metal Gear series made by Hideo. So it's hard to explain, man. It's like what I like, the opinion I thought is like, I just have to experience it for myself to get a better idea. That's exactly what you would want to do with this game. This is probably the biggest game I'd recommend you to rent first if you're on the fence about it to begin with. Otherwise, I say just try it out. Because it isn't for everybody. I do understand people's criticisms and issues with the game in terms of the just that it can be boring and stuff at times and stuff like that. I personally just never found it's just something just weirdly fascinating about the game that I cannot put my finger on, to be honest. I don't know, just the like visceralness of kind of Norman's movement, and that's another cool thing, by the way. I do like Norman Reedus as a person character. Obviously, me being a big fan of The Walking Dead, that's kind of where he's known most from. But just it's kind of cool seeing a character you're familiar with get translated in video game form in this extent, especially with the Hideo Kojima touch. But yeah, 30 hours in. I hear it's a beefy game in terms of it's like it can range from like 45 to I think 80, 100 hours, depending on how much extra stuff you do, which that's kind of the philosophy I'm going into, just trying to play what I feel like. I'm not really seeing a big purpose of doing like all the side stuff, so I'm at least now before I was just messing with it to see what I get for doing it, but it didn't seem like I got much, so I'm just now more so just trying to do the main path of the story and maybe do some side stuff if it's worthwhile, or I get some cool item that makes the game easier for me. So yeah, man, overall I'm thoroughly enjoying the game. So yeah, I'm on the side of enjoying the game pretty much. Loving the story, loving the just the gameplay, which I honestly thought I maybe wouldn't have possibly not liked, but I'm actually surprisingly thoroughly enjoying it. I think just for people who maybe have ADD or can't really be patient with stuff, this game more than likely might not sit well with you, or you might not enjoy it. But for people that do like to take in an environment, just experience the game, I think this game is something to experience in general. I'd say if anything, just try it out. I'd say that's probably the biggest recommendation for those that are at least on the fence about it. Obviously, if you're gonna feel one way about it, you're gonna feel one way about it. I don't think this game is gonna change your opinion that much. I don't think it'll. It's definitely for people who are fans of the Hideo Kojima's games, but for people that do happen to coincidentally like these types of games, I can't personally think of any game that's really close to it. I do agree that this is it feels somewhat of a new genre in terms of the game, and it's just weird how much it like works. I'm still kind of figuring that out in my head, that like on paper this game shouldn't work, but it does. It's hard for me to kind of fathom, man. But I'm thoroughly liking the gameplay and pacing, or just the gameplay loop is what I'm liking the most. It seems to be very fulfilling. That's probably the biggest thing I could take from it. Fulfilling and gratifying. Weirdly enough, it's like at the surface, it doesn't seem like it, but it's like, I don't know, I feel like I'm getting dopamine from delivering these packages successfully, and I'm getting a dude saying like, oh man, it's like not a scratch on this package, man. You are a legend, Sam Porter Bridges. I was like, wow. And then I guess people are saying that like it seems to beat yourself over the head with its story and like plot, and like I guess pretends you're a dumbass individual that just can't pay attention to a story. Maybe that might be me, but I don't know. I haven't really seen any of that yet, where they're being very tongue in cheek about it, or like tongue out to cheek about it, I guess, from what people are saying. But I personally have not really, I guess, noticed that, or at least, or maybe just went over my head. I don't know. Maybe I haven't got to that part yet. I'm on chapter 4 currently, I think. Technically, or 5. Maybe 5, I think chapter 5, I believe. So I'm not sure if maybe some stuff start picking up. I believe they said there was a big like story, I guess, lull in terms of not much like, I guess, cutscenes and stuff during, I think, the period around what I'm playing. But I'm liking the characters, liking the gameplay, just the personality, the heart going into the game. Looks great on playing on my TV. Looks like spectacular HDR 4K. What else? I haven't run into a bug at all. Apparently, there was a stability update that came out recently to resolve whatever was wrong with the game that I never noticed, at least. Game runs like a dream, man. So yeah, I'm curious. I'm very fascinated to see this through and see how this story, this weird convoluted Hideo Kojima game story, kind of plays out. But overall, I'm thoroughly enjoying the game. So yeah, my book, it's definitely, it could be a game of the year just based off on the boldness and the boldness of the direction that Hideo was daring to try to change the gaming landscape, if you will, in terms of setting a tone for other people to follow, which is, you always got to respect people that tries to do that and tries switch up stuff that they've never seen before, which I mean, obviously I have the utmost respect for that dude, but yeah, I think in this case is actually working as well. It's just fascinating to see how it is. I'm still trying to figure that out, because like at the surface, I shouldn't like this game technically, especially I guess me being a stereotypical gamer, loving Hideo Kojima's work, specifically with Metal Gear Solid series, and then just like especially if you come over that game, come to this game like, this is trash or whatever, but I thoroughly am enjoying it. I don't know if maybe it's just me liking Norman Reedus as a character, playing him, or just just going back in touch with Hideo's touches on his games. It's hard to describe, man, but I can at least say, yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying the game, man. Thoroughly enjoying it. I'm gonna deliver them packages, man. I feel the pain for Amazon. It's kind of like, I wonder if it's kind of meta that that I got the game sent to me from Amazon, and then like, man, it's funny that it's cool that it kind of, I feel like that maybe that's intentionally Hideo's maybe subconscious way of kind of maybe bringing more awareness and appreciation for Amazon, or pretty much UPS, FedEx delivery people, is like, those people that send you all this cool stuff without you having to go out to the store and get them. Man, you better give them dudes a round of applause. All right, they the real MVP here. Okay, which is, I don't know. I feel like that's probably maybe some weird underlying maybe message for that Dale maybe possibly is trying to send. I know he was trying to touch on loneliness and like how we are all connected but yet alone, which I could totally agree. And that bringing us more awareness to come together and cooperate and work on stuff together, and things of that nature. That was another thing too. I know I kind of touched on it. We'll leave and random stuff together, but you can in some cases do benefit from collectively cooperatively working with each other, not like directly but indirectly. So there's like scenarios where you can build like structures or even like full-blown highways if you put in enough work, where if you put in like some metal, other components to build this road, you can build it all the way to where you like skip segments of the game technically, where you otherwise would hit a standstill or have to spend more time to like escape BTs or mules that will easily be able to get you. But on highways, you could just basically drive to your destination like what Amazon or FedEx, UPS would do. You know what I mean? So a lot of that is pretty cool, man. Just that whole asynchronous new touch on things, where it's like you, especially like when you're in a very dire situation, like you have like close to no damn stamina, and you trying to walk to a damn trying to get to trying to make it successfully with these packages. Then you get in time fall, that's another thing I didn't mention necessarily, whereas like time fall is basically rain that will degrade your equipment the longer you're in it. So it's kind of another, I guess, like thing to kind of consider and worry about in terms of delivering packages. So, and that's, at least in terms of a correlation standpoint, that seems like the most commonly where I would see BTs arrive is when there is time fall. And that's in the story as well too. So Pretty much, if your hands are exposed or any of your body parts are exposed, you'll basically get older. The longer you're exposed to rain or timefall, which is a cool concept. It's a cool, unique concept. It's a lot of cool ideas and kind of world and lore building that I do. I'm kind of digging with this game. It's just like just so unique and distinct touch that only Hideo Kojima is capable of, man. It probably might be the fanboy in me, but it's like, I mean, I was coming into this game with the most open mind, knowing what I was gonna get into ahead of time. Expecting to be disappointed to some extent and maybe not liking the game overall, but man, I am thoroughly impressed and enjoying it so far. So, all in all, not to gush too much over the game yet, after not even really beating it, but putting a legitimate amount of time, at least into the base loop of the game, which I know a lot of people were curious about. Yeah, man, I'm pretty satisfied with it. I thought I wasn't gonna be. I was thinking it's gonna be like a Metal Gear game where it's just like maybe at the surface it looks like this, but really the game is gonna turn into something totally different, where it's like more akin to the Metal Gear we know and love, but even more so. I kind of think I like this more. This whole different approach on trying to do something different and adverse to what we're kind of used to, which is, I cannot say it enough. I can only respect that. So yeah, that is my impressions of Death Stranding. I think that's pretty clear, concise explanation. Not to get into any spoiler territory. For those that are interested, I think I did a pretty good job of kind of explaining the general gist of the game there. So, man, it's also cool looking where you have these huge ass stacks of boxes. It's just something weirdly fulfilling about that. Just being able to carry all this equipment on yourself, and like a surreal like mech of just equipment is weird, man. It's weird. It's probably gonna bring a new like whole wave of stuff. I'm pretty sure. I'll say that right now. You're definitely gonna get a lot of clones for sure. I'm pretty certain. So, all right. So I think that's kind of going over time. I'll touch a little bit on Walking Dead. Caught that last episode last Sunday. Was pretty good. Really liking the story. Really liking the season. They're doing a lot of interesting stuff that I never would have thought they would have did. So yeah, I am very interested in this season so far. It's doing everything good in my opinion. So, and outside of that, haven't really played anything else. Death Stranding has been pretty much taking up my whole life, for the most part. So, I am excited about Star Wars New Jedi Fallen Order. I'm hearing some good stuff about the game. It's apparently way better than what I anticipated it to be. I thought it was just gonna be mid okay, but it's actually, I think Respawns apparently can't do no wrong. So that's definitely knocked up on my priority list there. And then actually I think I'm gonna dive back into Pokemon Sword and Shield. I think I'm gonna because I always wanted a legit console Pokemon game. This is pretty much that answer. So yeah, I see myself probably gonna mess with that at some point. But as I'm just getting inundated, so many good games that I do want to play, but not enough damn time to play them. It is the biggest first world problem I've had in a while, and I'm not even complaining, because that's a good problem to have. So much good stuff you want to play, but not enough time to play them, or comfortably to play them. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there, guys. I'm running out of time anyway. But thanks for watching. If you're watching, thanks for listening. If you're listening, if you like to support the podcast, feel free to like, rate, subscribe, submit any review. Any feedback would be appreciated. If you have any questions you'd like to submit to the show and that I would read at some point when I get enough, feel free to submit any questions to aswitchtv at aswitchtv@gmail.com. You can also catch me on the channel where I do live stream this every Thursday around the same time, ideally, if things go right, on Twitch TV/aswitch. I'm still working on some time to get all these up on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/aswitch, where I'm trying to catch up on all the stuff I've made and try to maybe get that to some regular schedule. Just got to bear with me trying to juggle full-time job and doing this as well. But I'm starting to figure it out. I've been working out in the gym like hardcore, and I'm trying to find that good balance. So I've been like going like 5 times a week, and it's like, I wish I just had some days where I could just, have a little bit more free time to get, do stuff like this, which I've kind of made the compromise. I've kind of knocked my workout schedule like 3 times a week so I can, allocate some more time to doing stuff like this. So yeah, but all in all, slowly but surely, this workflow is gonna come together. Damn it! All right, I'm getting that consistency though. 31 episodes without missing. I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back for that one. Okay, that's for me specifically. Something that I don't necessarily have to do. That's not in my MO. So, yeah, guys. I think that covers everything. Until next time.